Okay, so this is for the ES V6 engine users. So these are V6 engines, PR. When I mean PR, this is a Peugeot Renault V6 engine jointly produced from late 90s to around 2009, 2010. That's when they stopped using these engines on Peugeot vehicles. So now I know I've done this before, but it doesn't hurt to do another one just to remind people. If one of the weaknesses of these engines is not just one, we have ES9J4, ES9J4S, ES9A. So one of their weaknesses is the not camshaft, I could say cylinder head covers. There are four of them. They do leak, In fact, I don't think probably the maximum you might cover before they start leaking might be around 100,000 kilometers. Sometimes even before that mileage, they all start leaking engine oil from the covers. Sometimes they could also leak from the camshaft boxes. There are boxes that hold the camshaft to the cylinder head before the covers are now mounted on the camshaft boxes. So sometimes they do leak from the boxes as well, but usually start from the cylinder head covers. So and one symptom that comes with it, apart from the oil that will be leaking out, causing misfire and the rest, one of the symptoms is high fuel consumption. Yeah, once they start leaking, not usually when they start, you notice that those surroundings will be wet. In that case, no problem yet. Oil will be draining into the ignition coil chambers or the spark plug chamber, but it won't be that much. You just see them wet. At that time, no problem. But once they start to vomit oil to the point that almost every 2-3 days we are sucking out oil from the spark plug chamber or coil chamber, because it's where it's soaking the plugs and coil, causing misfire. Once you get to that stage, your fuel consumption will go high. This is something, like I said, I could tell you I mastered this engine, this engine and their system. Yeah, you go up. So my advice is, once you get to that stage, find a way to seal them up. Don't bother trying to find the seal. They are not available. At least I know in Nigeria they are not. Most time, even all users in other climes of the they find it hard to get those sales, because part of them, the sales are permanently on the covers, especially the metal ones, so you can't actually replace them. I can't say for sure about the ES9J4, but I know for ES9J4S and ES9A, the two that are plastic covers, those ones are the intake. The ones for the intake camshaft, that covers the intake camshaft, those ones, the seals can be removed from the cover, but then where we even see the seal as well. But the other two that covers the exhaust camshaft, those are metal covers the exhaust camshaft. The covers that is covering the exhaust camshaft boxes on both cylinder banks, back one, back two. Yeah, those ones are metal and the seals are permanently there. So once they fail, you can't. I'm not sure you'll be able to seal any new cover. So some you could try and get a used cover that probably have the seals might still be okay. But I don't rely on that, because it's just a question of time. It's just a question of time. It also start leaking. So that's why I don't go for that cover anymore. As long as it's used one. If it's a new one, then we are talking. So the best solution is just get a good RTV silicone gasket maker. Apply it on those glue and it does the job. uh Ideally, if you want to do it, at least to serve it for a long time, it makes sense to remove the camshaft boxes as well, because like I say, it's not just only the camshaft box covers, what we also known as rocker covers, or cylinder head cover. So it's not just those ones on the top. The boxes that's holding the camshaft to the cylinder head, they also do leak from that area over time. So sometimes you might still apply those silicone gasket maker on the cylinder head covers, only for you to realize that it's also leaking from the camshaft box, which is under. But those ones, sometimes it can actually be pronounced. Once they start leaking, you actually see, because what is there is not sealed. It's not like a gasket or something. It's just the same silicone gasket maker that they apply on those boxes. While the cylinder head have gaskets, I would call them seal. It's basically gasket or seal, whichever one, because they're rubber, sort of, can be removed or put back. Just as the one on the metal ones, you can remove them, but you won't be able to put them back. So the one on the camshaft buses, they use this normal silicone gasket maker, what Nigerians call black gum. So that's what they apply there. So what usually happens is when those ones become weak, you will see they will actually be peeling out, coming out from the those that in between the camshaft box and the cylinder head. You see them pulling out from there, from that space. So usually easier to spot, to know, okay, no, these ones too have to go. So but sometimes if it's not that bad, if it hasn't started coming out, probably might lead them. But if for me, if I were to do it, I can as well do the whole thing, remove the camshaft belt, but that will means you have to remove your timing belt to do that one. Remove the timing belt, remove the camshaft, and then say put back and do everything. But if it's just the cylinder head, it's just a few hours job and that is it. The other one is like the entire day it will take. So but once you do that, reseal everything, reset, if possible. If I were you, I will reset the ECU. You'll be surprised your fuel consumption will just drop, as in you wouldn't even know. But as for me, since I've been, like I say, I'm not just a repairer, I'm a user as well. So for years now, of course, if not a decade or more of using these engines, I've been able to tell when what could make the consumption go up, even when there's no issue with the injection system. You just see it shoot up. Once you do that thing, it gradually comes down. Remember, when you reset your ECU, it takes the ECU a while to adjust, to relearn the system, because additional air coming in from those leaking camshaft buses or leaking cylinder head covers increases fuel consumption. Yeah, it will. It will mess up with the map, and the map says everything that it is, and increase the consumption. So because it's additional air, it won't allow the engine to run well, and too much air. So the engine has to introduce more fuel to, you know. Anyway, whether it goes to the, well, I'm not sure air from there will enter the combustion chamber. I'm not trying to remember how the system is actually, the design. But however, it still messes it up. Like I say, as someone that been using these engines for years, so I've mastered it to a very good extent. I'm not saying I'm perfect, I know everything concerning that engine, internal how but I'm saying, as a user, I can be able to tell you the symptoms of what's, something like this particular one you're seeing on the screen is my D9 V6. Yeah, this picture I took from my D9 V6. So to tell you, I know what I'm talking about. Since 2013, it has been there. So experience teaches better for someone who is observant. Some people are not that observant, but there's nothing wrong with that if you're not that technical. But I am, so I can be able to tell what I would do to the vehicle that I see that is wrong. I fix that thing, without doing any other thing, then it would not take care of other symptoms that I probably was trying to figure out, wondering what could make those things to behave that way or cause issue on that way. So the first one I will treat will take care of the rest. So that's how I've been able to be learning and studying and understanding the engine, this particular engine and their injection system. So advice, don't wait for it to start leaking that much before you fix it. Expect, no matter what you do, no matter how new your engine is, they will start leaking at some point. I'm telling you this not just as a user, but also as someone that repairs for other people. So I know what they also experience. But it's no longer a big deal to me. What you need is quality RTV silicone gasket maker. What, like I said again, in Nigeria, we call it black gum. That's what if you use those ones that are not good enough, it probably may not last a week and start leaking, even probably worse than it was before. Some even the next day start leaking. So all you need is get a quality one. In my case, most times I had to import, you know. It's possible that also that I've come across once in a while, come across a good one that at least can serve you up to a year or less before you start leaking. Those quality ones can serve sometimes more than a year, you know, before probably they start seeing that they are becoming weight again, you know. So it's one of the costs of using ES engine. I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with that, don't bother. Now for the other engines, EWSU engines, it's most likely they will also be causing that high fuel consumption when they start leaking, because they also have their own cam buses and cylinder head covers. So my advice is, once it starts, not read my this thing. I'm not saying once it's wet, being wet, you don't actually see oil flowing from there. But you see that the surroundings are wet. It doesn't necessarily mean at that time the leak it will increase fuel consumption. But what I mean is, point that when you start engine, you could see oil actually coming out from there, gradually dropping. Then, man, you need to, or get a point that almost every week, once a week, you have to open up to and see that oil has filled up that chamber. Though, then it's time to reseal it. So even if you can afford, keep topping engine oil that will be vomiting from that place and keep wasting, your fuel consumption too will go up. That's my point of this video. So I hope this helps.